Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Hope everybody's having an amazing week. We are in the midweek. So I'm Tina Kadish. For those of you that don't know me, from Job to Joy, I'm a business coach, author, and a speaker, and I empower aspiring women entrepreneurs to find their passion, live life on purpose, and create that business with joy that brings them the freedom and prosperity. So today I want to talk about 10 mistakes to avoid when starting a business. And these are, when I'm reading this, and I took some notes from this, these are all things that I can relate to, and I would love to hear if you're in the space right now that you're thinking of starting a business, or you might be in your 9 to 5 right now, and you have an idea, you have a business idea, and you want to start a business, but you just don't know how to go about it. Or you're right now just started. And these are some things we're going to talk about here. So the first mistake is we don't do our market research. Now, this is huge because we have this idea, but we don't do any research on the market. And we just jump in without doing some research. To really research that, is there a demand for your product or service? Really understanding your audience is so important. And, one of the things that I coach my clients on is not only understanding your audience, but what are their pain points, but what is it that they desire, their aspirations. So you want to do some research first. So instead of just jumping in business, you want to do your market research. Okay, so that's the first thing. Number 2, not having a clear business plan. And this is my expertise, what I work with. When I work with my clients, I help them create a business plan. This is the foundation. You're starting a business, you need to create your business plan. It's like you want to take a trip, right, somewhere. You're planning a cruise, you're planning whatever trip. Are you just going to get in the car and go without knowing where you're going? Same concept. And it's amazing to me how many people that I talk to haven't created a plan, a business plan. Have you created yours? All right. So this is why I really believe in this, and I help my clients to create that structure, that framework. And it doesn't have to be elaborate. And this is one of the things that a lot of times we go out and we make it so complicated. And I know that I remember when I first started my business, I went out and it was all these numbers and all of these analysis. It doesn't have to be complicated. What are your goals? Like, what is your vision? Who's your target? Knowing who your audience would be and what are their pains and desires that you have for them. And, you want to make sure that you have your marketing strategies, your revenue streams, and financial projections. So it doesn't have to be so elaborate, but it really should outline your goals, have your target market, your audience, your revenue, your marketing strategy, and your financial projections. So that's number 2 mistake, that people don't get a business plan. Number 3, understanding the startup costs. You want to do the work on figuring out what are the costs to run a business. What are actual costs? And this is something that I also, when I work with my clients, I help them. What are the costs in running your business? And one thing that I'm going to say, and this is no insult to website designers, but when you're starting a business, your first goal is, when you've started your business, you've created your plan, is to get clients. To go out and spend all this money on a website, and I'm not saying it's not important. I have a website. I've had multiple websites. I have my logo. You want to have a logo for your business, but don't be so focused on that first, all right? And spend all this money. You could create a simple landing page, all right? And we can go into more detail, but I want you to understand that you want to know what your startup costs in a business, all right? Thank you who has tuned in here today. Say hi so that I can see you. And if any of these points resonate with you, I would love to see your comments here of what is an area that when you've started a business, or maybe these are some areas that you're going to say, whoa, I didn't think of this. Okay, so I hope that this will spark some, oh, this is an area I didn't even think about. Okay, number 4 is trying to do everything alone. Now, here's the thing. When you're at the beginning of your business, you are doing a lot on your own. You don't have the budget to delegate. I know that was me. I didn't have the funds. I learned a lot, like graphic, Canva. I learned a lot about Canva. I learned a lot about technology, and that I did at the beginning because I didn't have a budget to delegate. And so it took me a while to start to delegate small. But the point is outsource what you can, or can you hire a professional? Now, when I say hire a professional, I have hired a coach to help me, because that's another thing, that you do need a coach, all right? Or it would be recommended to get someone who has done it. Hiring the right coach for what you need is something that I've learned. And I've done a podcast episode about this. Hiring the right coach for what you need is so important. But the key here is don't do everything alone. Okay, so that's the 4th one. Number 5 is we are ignoring the branding, okay, and marketing. Now, here's what I want to share. Your brand is not the logo and all those pretty pictures. Your brand is you. So knowing who you are, knowing what your personal brand is important. So a lot of us, we start business and we don't even know our brand. And we right away go out there and we're doing all this marketing and we don't even know who we are. We don't have a vision for our business. We don't know who are our target audience. We don't even know what problem we're solving. Okay? So you want to make sure that you don't ignore the branding. Okay? You want to avoid ignoring the branding and the marketing. And you do want to invest in having a strong brand identity and using social media, you sending out emails, creating that content marketing to attract your audience. So a lot of times people start a business and they're ignoring the marketing and the branding. People need to see you showing up, being there, being visible. All right. But sharing the messages for the right audience. And that's a whole nother conversation, is how do you create those messaging that attracts the right audience? Okay. But I'm going through these mistakes that people make. And I would love to, again, get your comment here. What is resonating with you? An area that speaks to you. Please put that here in the comments. This is a great mistake to avoid. Perfection over progress. I just had someone in my community today. She did a live video. And she was so nervous, she said. Now, she didn't appear nervous to me. But here's the thing. She did it. She showed up. She took action. Was it perfect? No. But there is no such thing as perfection. So don't focus on perfection. Focus on progress. Taking action every day. What is one thing you can do today towards your business, in your business, that will move the needle? So a lot of times, like I said, people focus more on perfection than progress. Okay, number 7, failing to understand your target audience. And this is huge too, because I work with my clients when we work on their business plan or blueprint, is that they don't understand who their audience are. Like when I hear I want to help everyone, that's not laser focus. It's not niched down. Who is it that you want to help? It's understanding their what are their problems? What are their aspirations? What do they desire? Knowing all of this is key. So a lot of us, we fail to understand who we want to serve. All right. Number 8, we neglect financial tracking. Now, this is what I mean by here. It's important to know your finances, track your numbers. Tracking your numbers, you got to know your numbers when you're in business. Even when you're starting a business, again, I talked about knowing your costs. That's numbers. But as you're building your business, as you created your business, know what your goals are. What is your financial goal? What do you want to make every week, every month, every quarter, every year? set those goals out. And how are you going to achieve them? What are the activities that you're going to do that are aligned towards that goal? So very important to not neglect tracking your finances, tracking your income, your expenses. You may want to get a bookkeeper if you're not good with numbers, and maybe it's something that you might want to outsource. This is part of can't do everything alone. You want to focus on your strengths. And if this is an area that's not for you, and I'm not saying that it's going to be a lot of money, but be mindful of this and tracking your numbers, knowing your numbers. Like I use Excel. I do have QuickBooks, but I also use Excel. So I have tools where I know my numbers. All right. Next one is setting unrealistic expectations. And here's so important. Success doesn't happen overnight. Okay. And we overestimate. We think we're going to get short-term results, and we underestimate the time and the effort. Now, it'll be, in 2018 is when I escaped my corporate world. Okay, so it'll be 7 years this year in July that I've been working my business full time. It's like, wow. And am I where I want to be? Not yet, but I've been growing. I've done a lot of things during these years. I've made more money every year. That's been the goal. Make more money, be more profitable. And this is why knowing your numbers, knowing where your expenses are, knowing what your income is so important. So really, one thing I want to say here is be patient, set realistic expectations, and celebrate the small wins. It's so important that we celebrate the small wins every day. Like I've had some wins today. My biggest win is that my community are taking action. We're sharing with each other. I got a beautiful message which I posted on how I'm inspiring them and how they're taking action and that I'm a blessing. That to me is huge. It's huge. Okay? That to me is huge. And so, but celebrate all of your wins. Okay? And the last but not least that people do is they ignore self-care. We get burnt out. We are not to do our business. If your business becomes a job, go get a job. The reason why we're in business and we want freedom, and I know at the beginning you're working, you got to get, you want to get clients, you want to set up your structure, your framework, you want to do all of that is important to do, but you want to run a business can be time consuming, can be all consuming. So what breaks can you take during the day? Taking some walks, meditating, praying. What can you do for your self-care? So I want you to set boundaries. I want you to prioritize self-care and schedule time for rest and activities that bring you joy. So important. So these are the 10 mistakes to avoid when starting a business. Please put in here what resonates with you. And I have a great community, the Inner Circle, that I invite you that if you want to come and visit us, we meet every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Hello, who's joined us? 7 p.m. Eastern Time. It's a great community, the Inner Circle. I've created this community and I have a special offer if you want to join us. But I will put the link here of the Inner Circle. And we are kicking off February with how to build engagement in your Facebook group is the first topic on Tuesday, February 4th. So I invite you, and if you want to join my community on Tuesday, put me and I will send you the Zoom link for Tuesday night. It's going to be all about building that engagement in a Facebook group. All right, this is Tina Kadish. I hope that these 10 mistakes to avoid helped you, found value, and would love to hear which of these mistakes resonate with you or things that you've done. I would love to hear your comments. All right, have a great afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much.